Hi, and it's time for our story. Now, yesterday I didn't have time, so today we're going to get a couple of chapters at least, maybe three, because this chapter is broken down into smaller parts. Okay, so this part of the chapter is called The Chance of a Lifetime. When we reached the supermarket, the good news was that we didn't need to beg or steal. The bad news was that things turned out much, much worse. As soon as we got off the bus, Gamble spotted Miss Clegg pushing her trolley into the shop. "Miss Clegg!" he screamed. "Can we send your trolley, miss? Can you push us round, miss? Miss, please, miss!" I've never seen the face that people pulled when they find out the hard way that a cat has gone to the toilet in their shoe. However, I'm guessing it's pretty similar to the face that Miss Clegg pulled when she saw Gamble bounding towards her. With surprise speed, she zipped off into the shop, slaloming in and out of all the other shoppers until she was out of sight. "Oh, she couldn't have heard me," said Gamble as he wandered back. I said nothing. Just as Gamble reached me, a young man with slicked back hair and a shiny suit stepped between us. He had a dark orange fake tan and a huge grin that showed off his dazzling white teeth. "Congratulations," he said, putting a hand on Gamble's shoulders. In his other hand he was holding a camcorder. A young woman appeared next to him. She was also smartly dressed and was pushing a trolley with balloons attached to it. "You are our 1,000th customer today," she beamed. "Really?" I said. I tried to work out how likely this was. In the last 30 seconds, around 40 people had gone into the store. If it had been open since 6 a.m, then that would mean at least... Gamble interrupted my thoughts. "What do we win?" he said. The young man's smile was still fixed on his face. "Well," he said, "your incredible prize is a trolley dash for you and your friend here." "Brilliant," said Gamble, bouncing about. What's one of them?" "You have 5 minutes," said the woman, pulling a stopwatch out of her pocket. "Run inside, fill this trolley with as much stuff as you can, and get back here before the time runs out. If you make it back in time, you keep everything in the trolley for free." "Wow," said Gamble. "You sure this is for real?" I said, frowning. On close inspection, the man and the woman only looked about 17, and they weren't wearing badges or anything. For the first time, the man's smile cracked a bit. "Hey, would we be allowed to stand here if it wasn't for real?" "Well, I guess not," I said. It was a pretty good point. "Don't throw away the chance of a lifetime," said the woman. This was another good point. "Your time starts now." She pushed a button on the stopwatch, and before I could stop him, Gamble was sprinting off into the shop with the trolley. "If I was you, I'd go too," said the man, pointing the camcorder at Gamble's neck. "Otherwise, he'll only fill it with things that he wants." This was the best point of all. Now, part of me did think this was too good to be true. But we were desperate, and I wanted to believe that my luck had changed, and I could imagine Gamble stuffing the trolley with rat poison, worm medicine for his dog, and flammable household products. What did I have to lose? I took a deep breath, and I ran after him. For 2 minutes I searched up and down the store, but Gamble was nowhere to be seen. Time was ticking away, so I decided to change my tactics. I go straight to the doughnuts, I grab as many as I can, and I carry them until I find him. Luckily, it was the supermarket where Mum does most of the family shopping, and I knew my way around. Within a minute, I was standing at my favourite aisle. The cake aisle. The cake aisle at the supermarket is amazing. It's kind of like how I imagine heaven to be. There are millions of different cakes, Swiss rolls, chocolate party cakes, jam tarts. Best of all, there's the biggest squidgy splodge donut cabinet you've ever seen. It's about 5 metres long and it's just beautiful. It has a huge lit up sign above it and 3 warm shelves absolutely bursting with every squidgy splodge flavour there is. My tongue was hanging out as I let my eyes drift across the glistening rows of glorious treats. And this is the list of donuts that they sell. Plain glazed ring. Excellent beginner's donut, but not for the expert. Choco vanilla dream ring with nut sprinkles. Perfect for a birthday party, but not for everyday use. Banoffee bad boy. Chocolate, toffee, crushed biscuit, banana and cream. A truly excellent all-rounder, and it contains fruit, so it's perfect for athletes and anyone watching their weight. That's debatable. Lemon curd. A revolting lump of pure disappointment. Raspberry jam, the greatest donut of them all, the Ferrari of deep-fried doughy treats. But then I saw him sitting there on the shelf in a great big mountain of loneliness. I pressed my face up against the glass and examined them longingly. It's been so long since I've tasted one. I felt like I'd been lost in the desert and had finally found water. All I wanted to do was shove my head inside the cabinet and stuff myself until my stomach exploded. This wouldn't help me in the long run though, so I had to control myself. There was no time to count them. I just needed to get as many as I could. I gathered up a load of trays and boxes and filled them with donuts and stacked them on the floor. Then, when there were more than I could carry, I shoved loose donuts into my rucksack, up my jumper and into every single pocket I had. A lady frowned at me as she ambled along the aisle. I just ignored her. It wasn't time to explain. I picked up the pile of boxes, tried not to squash the donuts under my clothes, and staggered off to find Gamble. There must have been about 6 boxes in my arms, and I could barely see over the top. The sugar and oil were hot against my skin, but I didn't care anymore. I was desperate, and it would be worth it. I didn't notice the frowning lady was following me. And the next part of our chapter is called Code Red, Emergency. I'd been up and down about 6 aisles and no sign of Gamble when an announcement came over the loudspeaker. All security staff to check out for Code Red Emergency. Oh, this could only mean one thing. Gamble. My heart was pounding. I rushed there as quickly as I could. At checkout 4, everything was going nuts. The assistant was screaming. There were security guards piling in from every direction. The trolley with the balloons on it was off to the side, absolutely stacked full of iPads, mobile phones and game consoles. I'm not joking. Must have been about £10,000 worth of stuff in there. But that wasn't the worst of it. Good grief, I said. Gamble was standing on top of the conveyor belt, crushing a bunch of bananas and a couple of vanilla slices beneath his shoes. Teeth gritted and eyes wild, he was attempting to wrench the till off the desk. The till! For heaven's sake! I mean, they'd said we could put anything on our trolley, but surely that wasn't included. I had to admit his guts, but it was a bit much. It was like going to an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet and trying to eat the waiter's leg. That's not a good idea, is it? The security guards couldn't get at him because the checkout was blocked with trolleys. In the background, the man and woman from outside were grinning and filming him on their camcorder. Unfortunately for Gamble, the till seemed to be bolted in place, so he started slapping the buttons until eventually the drawer flew open, just as he began shoving fistfuls of banknotes into his pocket. A huge security guard fought his way through and dragged him off the conveyor belt. Gamble was flipped onto the guard's shoulder and carried off kicking and screaming. "Leave me alone!" Gamble screamed, £10 notes fluttering everywhere as the guard stomped off down the shop. "I'm on a trolley dash! You're wasting my time!" A few customers scrabbled on the floor for the dropped banknotes while the other security guards tried to stop them. I looked over at the man and the woman with the camcorder. They were filming me now. The woman pointed at her watch. 30 seconds left, she said. I felt really bad for Gamble. What would they do to him? There'd obviously been some kind of misunderstanding. The last thing I heard him shout as he disappeared through a door was, "Get to the front of the shop, quick!" I really wanted to help him, but what could I do? If I didn't get back before the time ran out, we wouldn't win anything. Gamble would be furious if he didn't get his prize, and what about the doughnuts? This was our only hope. I could always try to help Gamble afterwards. Gathering up the doughnuts and tipping them into Gamble's abandoned trolley, I set off. I hadn't taken 3 steps before I felt a firm hand on my shoulder. "Store detective," said a strict-sounding woman's voice. "Security, we've got ourselves another one." I spun around. It was the lady who'd frowned at me on the cake aisle. Suddenly, I found myself face to face, face to stomach, with 3 enormous security guards. "We caught him red-handed, emptying out the squidgy splodge cabinet earlier," said the store detective. "Empty your pockets." I started. "Now," she snapped. Reluctantly, I did as I was told. As I dropped the last doughnut into the trolley, the shop manager pushed his way up to the front. He was a short, round man with a red face and a bald head. "Unbelievable! Shove him in the holding room with the other one and call the police." "I won a trolley dash," I said. "Oh, that old one," snapped the manager. "I've heard it all before." "Honestly, I'm with my friend who was the 1,000th customer. We won a trolley dash. You can ask those people over there." When I looked over, though, the man and woman had disappeared. "Save it for the coppers," said the manager. 2 enormous hands were hooked under my armpits, and I was led away from the trolley. But we hadn't gone far when a sleepy-sounding voice said, "Where do you think you're taking him?" The guards stopped. We all turned round. Miss Clegg was standing there with her trolley. I couldn't help but notice that it was filled with toilet rolls and small boxes of things called windbreak, tablets for the control of flatulence. Lovely. "What's it to do with you?" said one of the security guards. "Well," yawned Miss Clegg, "he hasn't stolen anything, has he? I mean, unless he gets to the door, you don't know whether he's going to pay for it or not." The guard loosened his grip on me. Said one, scratching his head. Said the other. Miss Clegg took a step towards me and placed her hand on my arm. "For all you know, he might have been getting this stuff from me, so you should have let him go." One of the guards began massaging his neck. The other started moving imaginary dust around the floor with his foot. Finally, the manager stepped forward and snapped. "Right, get out of here and don't come back. You are barred." "How will I get my doughnuts?" I cried. This was awful, like being banned from living. "You've got 5 seconds to leave of your own accord or I will call the police," growled the manager. I definitely didn't want to be arrested. Maybe I could come back in disguise or something. I quickly thanked Miss Clegg for helping me. I was going to do the same for Darren, she said, but then again. The security guard escorted me to the exit, so I had no chance to find out where Gamble was. Before I knew it, I was outside and I ran all the way home. And that is the end of the 3rd little bit we're going to read today. And the next bit we'll read tomorrow is called Completely Out of Hand. See you then. Have a good day. Bye.